Hello, how are you? Welcome to a new lesson of biology. Well, today it is Saturday. I have to record my videos when my hair looks more or less nice to appear on TV. So that's why it is Sunday. I'm very happy because today I am able to go for a walk. I couldn't go in the morning because I was so tired after a long week again that I slept today until 10 o'clock. So I didn't set an alarm, and when I woke up, it was 10 o'clock, and I said, I cannot go for a walk right now, so I will go in the afternoon. And I have decided that as I go for the walk, maybe I do the project as well as you. I will hand some leaves and I will show you how to do it, just in case you still have any questions. I hope not, because we have talked about it. So yes, that's what I'm going to do today. Apart from recording this video, I'm preparing everything for a new week. Sorry if you see that my movements are a little bit strange, because I have a terrible muscle contracture in my back, so sometimes I look a little bit like a robot. Well, so what are we going to do today? We're going to move a little bit, move on in the lesson a little bit, because I want you to be prepared for the experiment that we're going to do together. So because of that, we have to revise. I wouldn't say study, because we're going to revise a process that you for sure know, which is photosynthesis, okay? But well, we're going to do it in a little bit more detail. And then at the end, I will show you the things that we're going to need for I am surrounded by everything that we're going to need for the experiment. Okay, so we're all ready for that. I don't know how this is going to be, but well, I hope that it's good and that your families don't hate me for preparing a mess at home. Okay, so well, also remember that I just did it as well, that I have created a task in Edmodo for you to upload the pictures of your notebook, because it is going to be much simple for me if I have everything in the same place. Okay, so from now on, please, all the pictures, as you can, even though you give me the task, you can upload again a new picture, and the program is going to give me an alarm for that. I will be able to follow the evolution of your notes along the lesson, which is going to be super helpful for me and for my corrections. Okay, so let's go. Let me show you where we're going to be in the book. As you remember, we started the first part of the lesson about plants, talking about the introduction. We're going to jump over the classification of plants, and we're going to go to point number 4, which is plant nutrition. Okay? If you remember, we have studied together how plants and algae, for example, and some bacteria obtain their nutrients. They're autotrophs. So that means that they are able to make their own food. They obtain their energy and nutrients in a very special way, okay? And because of that, they are going to be essential for us, because they're going to produce the oxygen that the rest of the organisms need to breathe. And then they are also removing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. That's why it is going to be so important, and many people and many governments are doing this to try to reduce climate change. They're replanting many trees, they're replanting a lot of plants, because in that case it's the only way that we have to clean the atmosphere from carbon dioxide that we emit. So the more trees that we have, this process would get better, because we would be eliminating carbon dioxide and reducing the greenhouse effect, and because of that the climate change. So that's why you are also growing some trees at home, because they're going to be super helpful for cleaning the atmosphere, in that case surrounding our school. So let's go and revise how they do that, okay? You have a diagram on your book, but I have looked for another one which I think it's going to be better to revise the process. Remember the ingredients that they need. They take through the roots water and mineral salts, okay? Then they take through the leaves the carbon dioxide that they have in the atmosphere, and also through the leaves they take the sunlight that they're going to use as a primary source of energy for the process. What do they produce? Again, they produce the oxygen that they are going to use, but then the rest of it, they expel it out for the rest of the organisms, and then they produce the main and basic nutrients, normally in the form of sugar. Here you have the formula that we have also seen together many times, even though in this case you also have even the number of molecules of each of the things that they use or that they produce. So as you see, the formula it may seem very difficult for you, but believe me, it is a very simple formula. They use 6 molecules of carbon dioxide, they mix that with 6 molecules of water, and of course, with the energy from the sun, they're able to produce 1 molecule of glucose, C6H12O6, it's the molecule of glucose, and then they produce 6 molecules as well of oxygen. This molecule that may seem very complicated for you, it's really a very simple molecule. This is how it would look like in space, yes? The 6 atoms of carbon are the ones that you see in black, then joined to the 12 atoms of oxygen that would be, of hydrogen, that would be the ones that you see in white, and then the 6 atoms of oxygen, that these are the ones that you see in red. Okay, this is how the molecule of glucose, or simple sugar, looks like. Nice? So that is all. Water and mineral salts mixed with carbon dioxide and the help of the sunlight to produce basic nutrients for them and for the rest of the organisms in the food chain, and then the oxygen. But here comes the question. Because plants, they're living things, so they also need to do the respiration, the process of respiration. We studied together that plant cells also contain mitochondria, so they are doing plant respiration as well. Because they also need energy. Of course, they don't need as much energy as we need, because as we have said together many times, they are not able to go out for a walk or to run or something like this. So the energy that plants require is not the energy that a lion requires or that a human being requires, but they do need energy. So they also need to do the respiration. So then, if they're producing oxygen, but then they're consuming it, what happens? Well, I have told you many times that they come back to the diagram. It is true that during daytime, plants are doing photosynthesis and respiration. During nighttime, plants are not able to do photosynthesis because they don't have sunlight and they keep doing respiration. The thing is that the speed at which plants do photosynthesis is much, much faster than the speed that they do respiration. So even though they are consuming a little part of the oxygen that they produce, there is a huge excess of oxygen that they really need to expel out. It's like a waste for them. Okay? They don't use as much oxygen as they produce in photosynthesis. What do they do with it? They're super generous, they expel it out and they give it to us. Okay? So it's true that during nighttime they are not producing oxygen, they are just doing respiration. But that's not any problem to have a plant in your bedroom or something, because I mean, they are not producing as much carbon dioxide as we produce, for example. It's not dangerous at all to sleep with a plant in your bedroom. Imagine that you have a person next to you or that you have a dog next to you. I mean, they would be producing much more carbon dioxide than a plant. Don't worry, you can have plants in your bedroom, okay? This is something that you always ask me. So yes, remember that they do the two processes at the same time, even though at night time they just can do respiration. So that's why in this diagram you see that they need carbon dioxide in white. You would be the direction of the arrows in photosynthesis, while in red you would be seeing the direction of the arrows in respiration. So in white, they need carbon dioxide for photosynthesis, they expel out oxygen and they expel out for themselves the glucose. While in respiration, they need oxygen, they expel out carbon dioxide and they use the glucose that they produce. So finally, it is a balance. The ingredients of one thing are the products of the other, so they are balancing it. But in general, as I have told you more times, photosynthesis wins in this balance. That's why finally, on the whole, we say that plants produce oxygen and consume carbon dioxide. Good? Nice. So let's see a little bit more of a detail of this process. Your book explains very good how we call this liquid that they have that we saw the other day. Even though they don't have blood, they do have a liquid inside. We saw some pictures in the previous lesson, which is called sap. La savia, recordad con V, en este caso en castellano, la savia con B es de saber. So the raw sap is what they take from the roots. So this mixture of water and mineral salt, it is called the raw sap. En castellano lo llamamos la savia bruta. Bruta en el sentido de que no han hecho nada todavía con ella, ¿vale? Es como su materia prima. So raw sap, en castellano la traducción literal sería savia cruda. Lo llamamos savia bruta nosotros en castellano, ¿okay? Raw sap. So yeah, that would be what they take through the roots, water and mineral salts. So this raw sap is going to be transported up the tree or up the plant by some vessels, en unos vasos, which are called the xylem vessels, made up with xylem cells. En castellano lo llamamos el xilema también, con I latina en lugar de la Y. El xilema son los vasos que transportan la savia bruta up the plant, up the tree in this case. Nice, then these water and mineral salts arrive to the leaves. In the leaves, they combine with the chlorophyll in the chloroplast and with the sunlight, and they do photosynthesis, okay? As they do photosynthesis, this raw sap is transforming the phloem sap, la savia elaborada, decimos en castellano, which is a very good term to understand what happens. We have the raw sap coming up, it arrives to the leaves, photosynthesis takes place, this raw sap is transforming the phloem sap en la savia elaborada with the oxygen and with the glucose that they produce. And where do you think that this phloem sap is going to go? Down to the rest of the parts of the tree or of the plant to feed every cell, because every cell in the plant requires these nutrients, okay? Then they have different types of vessels to transport this phloem sap. In that case, these phloem vessels are called like this, phloem vessels, el floema decimos en castellano. So, new terms. Raw sap, savia bruta, is transported by the xylem vessels. Es transportada por el xilema. And then elaborated sap, phloem sap, la savia elaborada, goes down to the rest of the plant and it is transported by the phloem vessels, por el floema. Good? Up and down, going to all the different cells in the plant. Nice till here? Nice. One final thing. How are the leaves of the plant able to take the carbon dioxide and expel out the oxygen? Well, they use what is called, let me show you, the stomata. You normally love, it's here, sorry. You normally love this word in English, stomata, porque suena a estomata. In Spanish, we call them estomas. Un estoma y muchos estomas. This is how we see them. They are like tiny holes or tiny pores in the plants, as our pores in the skin. And this is how we see them through the microscope. Here you see these tiny, tiny pores. This would be with more powerful microscope. So they just open them to take the carbon dioxide and close them when they are not exchanging gases. And this is also what they use to expel out the rest of water when they do transpiration. So they are like tiny pores, like the tiny pores that we have in the skin. Leaves also have them. They open and close these stomata to take the oxygen, to expel the oxygen or to take the carbon dioxide or to expel out the water that they're using, that they're not using in this case. Good? So I speak so much. I want to do short videos and then I keep talking and talking. I don't know how you can, you should hate me because of that. Okay, so with this as theory today, it's enough, okay? How they do photosynthesis, remember what they require, remember the formula that we saw in this one that I just showed you, and then remember these new terms of the liquid that they have, raw sap, phloem sap, and then the different types of cells that transport in the plant these two things, xylem cells and the phloem cells. Good? Well, there's a blue square here in your book that talks about poisonous plants. I also had a list here of poisonous plants, but well, as this video is being too long, we can talk about that in the next video conference. Okay, I will show you this and we will talk about it. Nice. So, as usual, tiny diagram of this part. We're just revising photosynthesis, so the diagram should be very small. I'm telling some of you when you send me your pictures of the notebook that you're copying a lot of information. It's not necessary. Remember how we do the diagrams in class. We have been working in that for months. You just need to take the most important concepts and place them in a diagram. It's not really a summary what I'm asking for. It's a diagram. Es un esquema. Tiene que ser más esquemático vuestro trabajo en el cuaderno, okay? This is a very good situation for you to keep working in how to improve the way I make my diagrams, okay? And I'm telling you to when you send me your pictures. So very tiny. I mean, you just have to indicate the ingredients and the products of photosynthesis and the different types of characteristics that a plant has to do this process, okay? So I will see how you do it. And then to finish, a little bit of information about the practice lesson that we're going to do together. We're going to try to really see the pigments that capture the sunlight. What is the name of the most important pigment that plants have? Exactly, chlorophyll. That's why we see the green color in the plants. But it is not the only pigment that they have, okay? I'm going to show you. No, it's not here. Where am I? Here. Okay, plants have chlorophyll, we know that, but they also have other types of pigments that are called carotenoids, los carotenos. That's why, for example, in autumn, we stop seeing the green color of the plants and we finally see other colors such as yellow, orange, sometimes even red, okay? Chlorophyll, when the bad weather arrives, when autumn arrives, chlorophyll is destroyed inside the leaves of the plants. La clorofila se degrada muy deprisa. The other pigments have a longer period of life. So if chlorophyll disappears, we stop seeing the green from the leaves of the trees and we start seeing the other pigments that they contain. That's why we see the color of the leaves in yellow or brown or orange in autumn. Did you know that? I think this is beautiful to know. But when chlorophyll is there, let's say that it is more important or more powerful, so we just see the green color of it. What we're going to try to do in the experiment is to see the other pigments as well. Let's see if we get to do it. So what we're going to try to analyze is the green color of the chlorophylls and then the other colors of the rest of the pigments that they have. So chlorophylls normally, there are mainly two types of chlorophylls within the leaves of the plants, chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. O sea, hay dos tipos de clorofilas, la A y la B, and they normally have green color. Chlorophyll A has like a yellow-green color, chlorophyll B has like a blue-green color. And then the other types of pigments, los carotenos, the carotenoids, can be also two types, carotene and xanthophyll, los carotenos de verdad y las xanthofilas. And they look orange and yellow, okay? So let's see if we get to see them. To finish the video, just a quick remembering of what you're going to need to do the experiment, okay? Well, we're going to do like two experiments in one, because first of all, I want you to understand the process that we're going to use to extract the photosynthetic pigments. So the first part of the experiment, we're going to use an edding. But I need this type of edding, not the big ones, no estos que son permanentes, normal edding. It can be black or dark color, dark yellow, dark green, or purple, for example, would be but the best one to do the experiment is the black one, okay? Then you're going to need paper. It would be awesome that you have at home filtering paper. I have taken this one from the laboratory, but for example at home you may have something similar to this to do coffee. Es decir, necesitáis papel de filtro. Si no tenéis papel de filtro, you can use normal paper, okay? But the experiment would take a little bit longer to occur, okay? So if you have filtering paper, which is like softer, such as the one of the filtering coffee papers, exactly the same, then it would be nice that you use them, okay? If you have normal paper, it's better that you cut it into 4 parts, 4 equal parts. You will need 4 of them, 4 parts like this one. And then if you have the filtering coffee papers, you can obtain pieces that are smaller than this one, and it would be as well equivalent. You also need 4, have more prepared just in case, okay? Then you're going to need a couple of glasses with water. The water is inside. This is the dangerous part because I have a computer here and you as well. Then for the second part of the experiment, you're going to need green leaves. The best ones are spinach ones. I went out this morning, well, not my husband went out this morning to buy spinach leaf in the supermarket. There were like 20 people outside in a queue, so I told him, well, let's wait until Monday. But I will buy spinach ones because they are the best ones. But you can use any other type of leaf, green leaf, dark green leaf that you have at home. Anyone, okay? hojas de color verde oscuro, que tengan mucha verde, mucha clorofila. Nice. Then you're going to also need alcohol, such as the one that we have for the wounds or to disinfect. Very typical these days. And then you're going to need something similar to this. This is a mortar, okay? We use that in the laboratory as well, even though the laboratory ones are not normally made of wood, they are normally made up of porcelain. You can use whatever you want, but we're going to need to do something here. We're going to need to smash the leaves. So look for something around that is going to be available, okay? And that's all. I will give you a list of the things that you need as well. So, I mean, everything that I have shown you, you will have it in a Word document for you to be prepared. If you don't have any of these things, don't worry at all. You can just come and watch me do the experiment, okay? But I think that it is funny that you try to do it as well. And that's it. So for today, you just have to do the tiny summary of photosynthesis and be ready with these different things that you're going to need for the next lesson to do the experiment, and then keep working in your project, in your leaves hand project. Please tell me if this is too much, okay? But I am very happy with how we are working together, so I'm kind of I want you all the time to be connected to biology in different ways and doing practical things. But if you're stressed or something, you can tell me. You know that I don't have any problem in giving you more time and so on. I'm not very strict with deadlines during these days in the virtual lessons, okay? So that's all for today. I hope that you like this video. And remember that for today, you just have to do the tiny diagram about plants and have all these ingredients ready for the next lesson about the experiment, okay? I'm happy to talk to you again. Missing you a lot. Bye bye.